Well, welcome back to the Pet Stuff. I'm Dr. Brian Voynick. Our next guests are no strangers to the show, and they always teach us about some interesting critters that we don't normally get to interact with. So here to show us some new additions at Space Farms in Beamerville is zoologist Lori Space Day and Dr. Ted Spinks of the Animal Hospital of Sussex County in Augusta. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Brian.
Got some cool critters here.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about this handsome guy.
This is an African serval cat. He's about 4 months old, and they're quite the predator in the wild.
Oh, I saw him at 2 months of age.
Yes, they have very long legs.
Yeah.
They have very long legs.
They can jump 16 feet
16
and catch
feet
a bird.
Straight up, catch a bird in flight, and they can also hop 20 feet horizontally to kill their prey, and they do that in order to, and they stun it first by jumping on it.
And they can run 50 miles an hour?
50 miles an hour, very fast animal. You can tell by their long legs that they can really get some mileage when they decide to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a challenge working with these. These are considered a big cat, like a lion tiger.
Okay.
However, they will get to be about 50 pounds when they're full grown, and 55 on the male. And a little bit. Oh,
and how are they doing? Are they endangered species?
They're not endangered species, but they are restricted in the United States. A Joe average person cannot have them in your house. Good boy. Oh, good boy.
Now he's an active, frisky guy.
Yeah,
Dr. Spinks has the female.
Okay, we're going to give this one to Jenny.
Who's pretty docile, huh?
Very quiet.
Yeah, she's a little nicer.
What are they prone to as far as diseases? What do we have to do to care for these guys?
They're prone to pretty much the same thing our house cats get. Feline rhinotracheitis, calicivirus, panleukopenia, all pretty much the same diseases.
Yeah.
And we vaccinate these. We also test them for feline leukemia and FIV. And we try to keep the feral cats away from their areas at the
coloring on her, huh?
Yeah, it's a beautiful animal.
Just amazing. And a very soft coat. But, so what will they eat in the wild? They're obligate carnivores, are they?
In the wild, they're carnivores. They eat birds, a lot of small rodents. They have been seen taking down small antelope and small deer. Again, as an adult, they're a good-sized cat.
And as they grow, they eat veterinarians as well?
Only if you're leaving. If you leave your fingers around, yes.
Yeah. Well,
but you see they've got some nasty teeth on them.
Good grip there.
And they can really do some damage when they want to.
So obviously their strong suit is their hearing because of the size of the ears, huh?
Yeah, they can hear mice far away. They hear all sorts of animals. Very often when they're hunting, they will sit still, close their eyes, and just listen in order to find out where the prey is, and then they take off after them.
So she can jump 16 feet straight up into the air and catch birds.
Straight up and catch birds. And they pluck their birds by catching them, throwing them up, but then giving the last second they give a little head toss, and it pulls the feathers out, and then they pick the dead bird up from the ground again, toss it up, and they do it repeatedly to get rid of the feathers.
Amazing. All right,
she's taking that back to her nest.
Yes,
we're going to trade her up for a Central American species that you brought along. And
all right, pretty girl.
In the meantime, we've got a couple of
take
pictures.
your prey back.
Here's one of your tigers, a Bengal.
Oh, yeah. That's our tiger. His name is Kyber. He's a huge cat now. Probably weighs an easy, 600-700 pounds?
Wow.
Well, it's hard to get him to step on a scale. But he's a baby that I raised from the time that he was the size of a loaf of bread with legs.
Handsome. All right.
And our fallow deer herd, we have quite a few fallow deer.
And Santa Claus will be borrowing some of these in short order.
Yes, he does. In short order, he will. And then we also have a rare white elk born at Space Farms.
I was there when it was 1 day old.
Yes,
right?
It's so beautiful. And he stayed that really white, snow white color, which we're happy. Because we have some cream color ones, but this one's really neat because he's...
And this is obviously not an animal, but what a cool display you have on antique cars. This is a Model T Ford sleigh. You can see the sleigh part in the front without the front wheels, and some rare things there.
Yeah, my grandfather was a really eclectic collector, and he did very well on that.
Cool. And minerals there as well as
all sorts of neat things, and motorcycles. And
yeah, true.
It's quite different.
Okay, tell us about this interesting creature.
Well, these guys are called Coatimundis. They're from South America. Member of the Procyonidae family, along with the kinkajou, the panda bear, and the catamitskil. Really cool creatures. They are fruit eaters and vegetarians. They'll eat small rodents if they can catch them, but they love eggs and other things. If you watch their mouth as it's going, they've got a pretty wicked set of teeth in there, too.
Yeah.
But fascinating creatures.
Yeah, and what a snout on them, almost like a pig-like snout. And what's the purpose?
Well, that's to help them find out grubs and insects.
Okay.
They have a 60-degree rotation on their nose, and they can go check out anything to find bugs.
Wow.
They also have 180-degree rotation in their ankles, so when they climb a tree, they can climb a tree head first or tail first, which is really good for them. I'm going to need another piece of apple, guys.
Oh, okay.
Just to let you know.
Better to eat apple than fingers.
Yeah, we're getting close to the fingers here.
But I've had both of these since mid-August. They came from Claws and Paws as part of an animal trade deal.
And how do they do in the wild?
These guys in the wild do very well. They come from South America. This is this is the mountain coati.
Okay.
There's also a white-nosed coati, a Nielsen coati, and a South American coati. So there's 4 different types down south, and it just depends upon
what countries can we find these guys in?
These would be in Chile and Chile, South America, down there in the Andy mountains.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to cover that one again.
And they can actually climb trees as young as 8 weeks of age, huh?
Yes, they can. Up and down. These guys are really good climbers.
Dr.
They're from the
Spinks,
Andes.
what do we have to be concerned about here medically?
Well, I'll tell you, they're very much like our raccoon. They get both distempers. They get feline and also canine. So we vaccinate them for both. We also check.
Got a real pig there.
Yeah, we're kind of low on the apple here. Lots of fingers here.
More apple.
We check their stool for parasites, just like we would do with your dog or cat.
Yeah.
And we pretty much vaccinate them with the same vaccines and the same wormers that we use.
I guess they can get not only canine and feline distemper, but also rabies.
Yes, rabies is very, very significant. They're very prone to it, so we vaccinate them with the IMRAB type of rabies.
Right. Killed rabies.
Killed rabies.
They're all
yes,
killed.
they're all killed.
Yeah, good. And the other interesting thing about rabies is that they're approved for 3 years now in all 50 states.
Exactly.
So some of the states, for political reasons, only required annual vaccines, but now they're on the ball. Of course, they need them annually just once when they're a puppy and kitten, but then every 3 years, which is so important, folks, for your cats as well as your dogs. Don't forget. All right, thanks you guys for coming on. That was a lot of fun.
Anytime.
Very interesting critters. Folks, now it's time for our Pet of the Week, and these pictures were sent to us by Susan in Matawan, and this is her 11-year-old Beagle Chihuahua mix named Charlotte. Susan adopted Charlotte last year in New York City, where she had been dropped off at a city shelter with pneumonia and mammary tumors. The rescue got her the medical attention that she needs, and she was nursed right back to health. Charlotte snores all night long and sleeps like a person on a pillow, in the pillow or under the covers. Susan says she's a real clown. Thank you so much. If you'd like your pet to be Pet of the Week, send us your pictures. You can email them to that address that you see right there on the screen, or email them to thepetstop@news12.com. Make sure that you tell us why your pet should be Pet of the Week. We'll be right back with this week's adoptees. They turned out to be pretty...